I'm going to transition to the speaker panel now. We'll go about 50-ish minutes. And I'm going to pin or spot. I don't know how many spotlights I'm allowed to have. I haven't done that before. But I'm going to, Emily's already spotlight, Coach Christy is spotlight. If you are here and you're a speaker and you don't want to be on the panel right now, please let me know that. I might run out of spotlights, and if that happens, I'll just shift you guys around. Oh, it's not going to let me spotlight everybody. Okay, I'm going to try to, as you're speaking, I'm going to try to spotlight you. So speakers, if you all can raise your hands and keep your hands raised, it'll be easier to find you all to do the spotlight. Your virtual hands. I love my older friends. We're like, oh,
I was following suit.
Yeah,
I'm on my
I
phone
can't
and
find my hand.
I can't find my hand.
I can't either.
okay. I know that Judy and Christy are speakers. Tanya, let me know if you're on the panel right now.
Oh, there's my
Hi,
hand.
Dr. Gloria. Thank you for being here.
You.
Okay. Okay, so if you're in the audience and you have a question, it's important that you put it in the chat as soon as possible so we answer your question. Otherwise, because of past panel experiences, I use my intuition, my higher power to guide the questions I ask. Sometimes, most of the time, they're amazing. Maybe it's off a little bit sometimes, but not really. Okay. All right. Emily, are you going to be part of the speaker panel? Because your hand's not up, girlfriend. Dr. Gloria, be part of the speaker panel today?
Do I have to put my hand up?
Yes.
It's easier for me to spotlight you and find you if your hand's up.
Where do I put my hand?
It's not required, but it's just a little easier.
Where's the hand up? You have to hit react, right? Okay, good. There we go.
It's under
Yeah, I got it.
reactions for sure. Okay. And Emily, make sure you get all the love make sure you see all the love that was in the chat for you, okay?
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
All right. So the very first question is, at what point of your wounding, your trauma story, your injury, your betrayal, did you figure out, oh, there might be a purpose for me in that? I'm going to take Lisa first for that question.
Did I know you were coming to me? So I think the first time that I knew was when I was re-triggered. So I was sexually assaulted as a child. And then I was in the corporate world and my boss tried to sexually assault me in his office. And HR did not, basically, they sided with me to my face and then ended up turning against me. And it was in that moment that I knew if I didn't advocate for myself and start telling my story, that nothing would change and I would be a victim of myself, right? And not standing up for myself. So it was in that moment. So it really wasn't until maybe 20 years later that I knew that something would change. And as soon as I started telling my story in small snippets in ways that felt safe, the response that I got from others who started feeling safe to tell their story and that ripple effect that happened, I knew that there was a bigger purpose there. And that led to obviously some of the work that I do today. But it took, unfortunately, the re-triggering for me of it.
Thank you for sharing, Lisa. It was pretty amazing. I lack beautiful words sometimes, but you understand what I'm saying. It was heartfelt. Kat, why don't we take you next? Do you have a comment for this question?
Say the question again. I was all focused on Lisa.
It's good. I'm glad to hear that. The question is, during what point in your pain journey, the betrayal you had, the abuse, the suffering, whatever it was, when you felt really deeply wounded, when did you ask yourself, at what point did you ask yourself, or no?
Uh-oh. Oh, you froze for a second, but I get the drift. So I would say it took me years. My stubborn streak probably played a part in that, in the fact that I, for many years, like after my marriage and the emotional pain I went through and the not being able to walk and all of that went on for, gosh, like 5 years of continuous repeating challenges. So will say that I probably carried all of that into, that was actually in my 30s that I experienced all of that. And it wasn't until my 50s when I could actually return to that and go, oh, there was purpose in all of that. So it wasn't immediate, it was these constant challenges and experiences that kept like springboarding me back into that pain before I actually got it and started understanding it and started realizing the actual positive experience through all of that.
Thank you, Kat. Judy, do you have a response, Judy, for that question? And
Yeah,
you can say
I
past speakers, it doesn't fit.
similar to what Kat is saying, I knew that there was a reason that what I was doing with my life really had nothing to do with what I had studied and what I had done those ways. Didn't have anything to do with what I was being led to. Because every job that I had was always customer service or taking care of people, and in my life, I noticed that I was always helping people who needed to be fixed, people who needed something. But I didn't realize that it was my purpose until first was the 30s, mine had to be the 50s. I really just thought that this was who I was. I was just this highly sensitive person that needed to take care of people.
Thank you, Judy. Coach Christie, do you have a response?
Yeah, I don't know how to unmute myself. Am I unmuted?
Yes, you were.
Sorry, I'm driving. I apologize.
Be safe.
Thanks. So I always had a purpose for teaching nutrition, but my purpose grew after I went through the trauma and met you. And when you first asked me last year to be a speaker, and it just cleared my thoughts of this is the population I need to be helping because I understand what they're going through. I understand what stress does to the body. I understand what nutrition they need to help in the healing. So it really was last year when you asked me to be a speaker. So I am grateful for that.
Wow. Thank you, Coach Christie. Coach
Sure.
Christie, the people that are on the panel today that you haven't met yet is because they're speaking tomorrow. So please come back to hear them.
Oh, I
And
will. I will.
yeah, you're speaking. You better come back tomorrow.
I know, right? I will.
Tanya, your turn, please.
Okay, I think I was triggered by the breakup. It threw me all the way back to being a teenager and a lack of self-worth, which at 60 something I had to find again. I thought that was over and done with time of my life, but it wasn't. It really wasn't. So I've dealt with that and I'm still dealing with it and persevering as on a daily basis. It's something that I have to do. I've known that this was what my purpose is, and I'm just having to follow what my purpose is. I know what it is. I've been told what it is. God's not left my side.
Amen. Are you complete, Tanya? And Gloria, who's also a speaker for tomorrow. Gloria, do you have a response?
Take my hand down if I'm able to at some point in time. There it goes.
Okay.
In my personal experience, trauma repeats. And my earliest trauma is actually a birth trauma. And when it repeats, and in my experience, it repeats in a very similar way in terms of relationship with people. And one of the things that I have learned is that as I untangle the experience and the actions that have taken place, it is taking an intricate piece of macrame apart and being able to straighten out all of the different strings and make something beautiful out of the pathways that develop in untangling all of the trauma.
Thank you, Gloria. Emily, in my opinion, your presentation answered this, but you have something succinct and beautiful to say now.
Yes, I definitely did touch on this. But one other thing I want to say is there's a verse in the Bible that goes something like, if you will be cursed if you withhold your solution, but you will be blessed if you share your solution, something like that. And so when I read that recently, I was like, besides Karen giving me a kick in the butt to get up here and speak, that verse also has kicked me into stepping into my purpose, which is really helping other, besides serving other people, but helping, being a survival guide to other people. And in looking at like how much, when people ask me, how are you? We all ask each other, how are you? And it's such a taught, like, learned response. Yeah, fine. But you're like, have just a purpose could be asking somebody how they are if you know they're going through something, and say, no, really, how are you? Tell me the truth. Dump on me. I can take it. Let me give you presence. Let me just be here to be your sounding board, or to let you dump, because I needed that. There were so many people ask me how I was, and I just said, oh, hanging in there. No, I wasn't. I was like literally not wanting to take my next breath, but nobody is willing to be that space or presence for people. And just doing that, you're going to be somebody's hero. So just that one small purpose would be amazing for anyone you know that's going through something. Just ask them really how they're doing and let them dump on you.
Excellent. Okay. My next question is, this is going to be hard for some of you who have lots of solutions or have tried lots of different things on your healing path. Pretend there's someone in the audience who's they've been through hell and back, and they are overwhelmed. They are frozen in action. You might have been there at one point, because that's what trauma does to us. Kicks us in the teeth. What is one action step that really made a profound difference in your healing journey? Now, some of us have tried 85 million things. Some worked, some didn't. Some helped a little, some helped a lot. One thing. This should be a quick round. And I'm going to just call out on speakers. If you want to pass, just say pass. Judy, we'll start with you.
I think the one thing was sitting with myself and really allowing myself to realize what had happened and to start to accept it so that I could then move on from it.
Acceptance. Set, my friend. Emily, you're next.
For me, when I got to those very dark places and the places where I had no idea. There was no answers. I didn't want to take my next breath. I would just put on music in headphones and I would go running or I would walk really fast. And that just helped me get out something in me. Like the movement is huge, right? For healing and just getting your body in motion when all you really want to do is be curled up on the floor and wanting to die. But get in motion. And then the music, I would play a song over and over again. One song by Jenna Johnson, I think, is You're Gonna Be Okay. And it literally just keeps saying you're gonna be okay. And I would just literally say that out loud. When you say stuff out loud, it breaks your thoughts. You can't be thinking something and speaking something. Your speaking commands your mind. So speak it out loud. And that's very powerful. So that's what I did.
Really love that. Pat, you're next.
I am right there with what Emily said is once I was able to walk, that's how I released all the stress was the walking. And then I started running and becoming a runner and also the Jesus music. And to this day, that is where I go. You'll see me in my car listening to the Jesus music and making sure that I turn it up and get connected.
Thank you, Kat. And Lisa, you're next.
I took myself to nature and wrote. Just free wrote.
Beautiful. Coach Christy?
I went to a women's retreat and did breath work, like crazy breath work for the first time. And that was really life-changing. For the crazy loop that would not stop in my head. Yeah. So
Tanya, you're next.
retreats.
I listened to praise and worship music in the car, but I became more involved in the church and serving others so that I don't isolate and I get to interact.
Beautiful. Gloria?
Give yourself permission to be frozen and find someone to come into the icebox with you.
Beautiful. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss any of my speakers. Did I miss anybody? If so, please make sure you tell me. I think I got everybody. That was a lightning round. Okay, the next question, waiting for my divine juju to pop in since we don't have any audience contributions yet. Some summits, I get a lot of questions from the audience. Some summits, it's zero. And it is what it is. Okay, so my next question is, what is next for you? And when I ask you what is next for you, I'm talking about a big, bold, audacious, big, hairy dream that you're just starting to take action on. And I don't want to hear what's next is you're going to the grocery store. That isn't doing anything for me. A big, bold, juicy dream you're starting to take action on for the new year. And Tanya, we'll start with you, please.
My big hairy dream is to host 3 to 4 events this year and to eventually plan my trip to Dubai.
Ooh, take me with you, please, sister.
Yes,
I haven't
ma'am.
been to Dubai. And Gloria, your turn.
Finishing my book for fathers on how to do a better job of raising their sons.
Awesome. Really nice. Coach Christy?
I want to do more traveling, but my biggest thing is I want to stop working as a dental hygienist and just help people and empower people with my knowledge. So just stopping the hygiene is my bold statement by the end of the year. Dating it.
Beautiful. So what she's basically saying is she has this dream of being a full-time health coach.
Yeah.
And she's been scared and doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So it's a big risk. And that's what dreams are. They're not stretches, they're a big risk. They may, when you think about doing it, you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. That's what a risk is. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Pat, did you go yet?
Not yet. So I am stepping into more of my woo world as I expand on my energetic abilities and passion for learning.
Love that. And I love what Ali said. We should do a retreat in Dubai. Your wish is my command. Judy, did you get a chance to go yet?
No, I really would like to be able to do more speaking and travel around doing that speaking, as well as sharing the thing that is my passion and purpose right now, so that more people can experience it. And I can do that more than in the United States, or in the United States and out of the United States and wherever it happens to be.
I lost sound.
Awesome. We hear you, Christy. Judy, that's beautiful. And I am really excited to hear your talk tomorrow. So make sure you take your vitamins and show up tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Emily, why don't you go?
Oh gosh, do I have to pick just one? There's so many. I
Yes,
have
this one.
so many in my mind, but just gosh, building out tailor-made triumph. And my word is fearless. So just getting it done is better than perfect. Getting my message out there, wanting to help people, because if I just wait, how many people am I going to miss to help? So that in April, I have the opportunity to go to Everest Base Camp. Yeah, that would be amazing. A group of 12. And it was a dream of Ben and I. He will go with me. This is Ben. He did the Camino de Santiago with me last year, but yeah, so that's the big one for this year as a goal. Yeah.
Beautiful. Lisa.
So I'm gonna let you all in on something that I actually haven't said out loud before. And it's not for this year, but it's that big dream. And I want to build a gratitude collective that is international, that is nonprofit in nature. And I'm still building out what that looks like. But the big dream around that is I'm going to take it onto Shark Tank, and they are all going to invest in it because they are going to want to bring gratitude to the entire world.
Nice.
You heard it first here,
Yep.
folks. So when you see her on TV, I want you to remember this moment. That is amazing, Lisa. Thank you for that. All right, audience, do you have a question, or speakers, do you have a question that you want to ask the other speakers? Unmute yourself if that's the case. I'll give you 5 seconds and then I'll come up with my next question. Okay, here's my next question. How do I want to phrase it? What is something that you've tried and don't recommend for survivors or for the healing journey? What is something you don't recommend? And maybe share a couple sentences on why. During my presentation earlier, I recommended not doing a breathing exercise just because someone said to try it when it could be triggering you. Do your research and figure out what works for you. Because every coach and every therapist doesn't have all the answers. You got to do your own research sometimes and try different things. So I would say, don't do all the breathing exercises and get upset if it doesn't work. Like, what I mean by that is experiment. Find out what works for you. Lisa, could you go first?
Yeah, don't confront your perpetrator until you are damn well ready to do. I did that and I wasn't prepared for the response that I got, and it actually re-traumatized me.
Yeah. A lot of my therapy work is on exactly that. It's about expectation management, right? Yeah, it's huge. Thank you for sharing that, because some people, they finally they feel a little empowered and they want to go ahead and do that, not realizing that a lot of times they're going to be gaslit, basically. And say, oh, you're crazy, or oh, that didn't happen, or whatever, like some other bullshit. Okay. Thank you for Lisa for that. Emily, what about you?
So what comes to mind is when you have a loss, there's all these secondary losses, which is family and friends who either just disappear completely or they say things that are hurtful. They do things that are hurtful. They don't show up for you. And I would say stop trying to hold on to those relationships, and just you have to get to a place where you can just let it go, because this next chapter is different and you have lost somebody, and that might mean you've lost a lot of people, but letting it go and not trying to hold on to these relationships that may be toxic, and you just have to give it over to God and move on without them in your life, and that might be the best case scenario for you.
I was really worried that this was going to be a bad question because it has this little flavor of negativity, but the suggestions you all are giving are pretty powerful. And I absolutely believe in cutoffs. When people are toxic and sucking our energy, adios, amigos, out you go. So thank you for that, Emily. Judy, what about you?
I'm going to speak from personal experience. If you decide that you want to go to someone, a therapist in particular, to try to get past your trauma, make sure that you have done your research on how that therapist does their work. And I only say that because I think that when I look back and I think about having to relive so much as opposed to find a way to get from where I was forward, that it wasn't always the most helpful. And so that was just for me personally. Interview.
Interview, right. There's different styles work for different people, and it's A-okay. Thank you, Judy. Kat?
This is so many great answers so far. I'm going to say that don't, as hard as it gets on a daily basis, don't ever give up. And when I say that, so I mentioned earlier, I listened to the Jesus music, but there was a period of time where my words out of my mouth were anything but Jesus. It's like there was a lot of blaming that went on. So it's really never give up, because eventually the light does shine.
It was really beautiful, Kat. Thank you for that. Gloria?
I would follow one of the other sharers in that you must find the therapy that works for you. I made an effort years ago using cognitive behavioral therapy and found that for me, it was a dud. And so move on. If it's not working for you, find what works.
I love that. That's precisely why I did certifications and training on every evidence-based therapy out there. And some of these evidence-based therapies I've thrown out the window. CBT is not one of them for me because I've actually studied the European model, which goes deeper. I like it a lot more than American model. But regardless, your point is well taken. It's
Right.
what works for you that matters.
That's right.
Thank you, Gloria. Coach Christy.
What not to do is beat yourself up. I did this for a long time and it doesn't serve any good and it keeps you stuck. And actually, when I went to another retreat, Karen, and Stephanie's retreat, and we were journaling, is when I really felt like I finally let that go. And so that's a very bad thing to do is blame yourself and keep beating yourself up for choices that were made that you can't change.
What you said, Christy, is really powerful because I think there are certain symptoms that most survivors have, and that's one of them, is that negative critic in your head that's always naysaying you and putting you down. And for example, if you were bullied as a kid and people said really mean things to you, you end up being your worst bully if you keep that going. You end up being meaner to yourself than any perpetrator with the negative things that you can say inside your head. So really deciding to stop that is very powerful. And Tanya, what you got for us?
Don't dream about taking a lamp and beating your husband down the driveway and kicking his butt all the way to the neighbors come outside and ask you what you're doing, and you tell them if they don't get out of the way, you're going to beat them too. So I said all that to say, don't hold it in. Don't hold it in. Find a trusted friend who shares your beliefs and share with them. If it's not a therapist, I shared with my therapist too, but share with a friend or a therapist that you trust.
All her dudes clothes outside and sets them on fire. It's very empowering, right? But it can get us into some trouble. So just be there's nothing wrong with the thought,
Yeah.
right? Like we sometimes it's our way of taking our power back, but our actions matter. We have to be in alignment with what we value. But man, writing that out can be powerful. Talking it out is powerful. So I love your answers.
Yeah,
Okay, so
and
that was
make sure you choose the friend that's not going to jump up and drag you along to go. Because I would be like, let's go, let's get them. So maybe choose your friend wisely.
yeah, don't be a
Yeah,
friend that
someone with a
offers to
calmer
burn your
head.
wedding.
Yeah, calmer head.
Calmer. I'm gonna choose cat. We're gonna do Reiki energy all the way there. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so Tanya, I'm gonna ask you to come up with a question for the speakers. What are you curious about? I'm putting her on the spot.
Can I think about that for a second?
Yep. Okay, Emily, what is the question you have for the speakers?
Along the lines of what didn't work, but I want to know what worked, like CBT, breath work, like any other certain ones that really made a huge difference of these kind of modalities or therapies.
Okay. Kat, can you please answer that?
I would say that meditation and journaling were the first two modalities that worked best for me and the first ones that I knew of and stepped into, along with the walking and getting in nature.
Okay,
The
Lisa?
the trio of those three.
Thanks, love. Lisa.
Yeah, so again, I'd go back to the going to nature and writing, that combination for me, and then also painting.
Thank you for the addition of painting. Yeah, Emily, your question is very similar to what's been asked, but it's all good. We can't get enough ideas for healing. We really can't. Judy, your turn.
The first things I did without really knowing what I was doing, I think, was getting out in nature. It was taking long walks in the woods near where I lived. It was going down to the lake because I lived near Lake Michigan and just sitting and not even meditating because I wasn't good at meditating. And then, of course, the later years, and you'll hear more about it tomorrow, it all had to do with brain entrainment and learning how to work with the brain.
Yeah, thank you, Judy. It's actually very common for survivors to struggle with meditation because of that pausing, it's triggering. So I have lots of strategies and thoughts about that, but working with Kat has been really helpful with that. Gloria, your turn.
I would say the thing that has helped me the most is internal family systems. approach to therapy, and also tapping into the right side of my brain and just being creative in a variety of ways, whether that means painting or writing or moving, just being creative.
Beautiful. Coach Christy?
I agree with everyone on the nature and journaling for sure. But finding a community for me was huge. When things ended in my marriage, a lot of the people we always hung out with, I needed to sever those, like you were saying, Emily. And so I didn't have, our life was going out all the time. And
Oh, it's hard to hear you. I think you're covering up your mic.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead now.
Sorry. So I just think finding the community and finding people that are like-minded, and because I had to start over at 55, 56 years old. So finding that community was huge.
Thank you. Connie, would you like a chance to answer that? Okay. Did you come up with a question or do you want to pass?
I want to pass.
It's all good, sister. I know sometimes when we've had a lot of health challenges, our memories, whoa, that wasn't part of the deal. I wasn't supposed to come up with the answer or questions for this. Lisa, do you have a question you'd like to ask speakers?
Yeah, I want to know why you want to share your stories.
Okay, and can you go first with that?
Oh, me. I didn't know I had to answer it. Just kidding. I want to share my story for to be brave for those that aren't brave yet.
I couldn't say a better response if I tried. Emily.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think I touched on it when I was talking, but just to show other people, because I went through a lot and I could go for hours about all the different layers of all the stuff that I went through. And I think I can reach people on multiple different levels and just to give hope to people that literally, if I can get through everything I went through over the last 5 years, they can too. And there is hope. So just being that survival guide for other people.
Oof, this was a really good question. Good job, Lisa. I'm going to keep you around. Okay, Coach Christy.
So the biggest reason I think is to just let people know that there's other people in that have gone through what they've gone through, and that there is hope in life and joy after. Unfortunately, I had patterns, and I am breaking that pattern. Karen won't let me be with someone like that again. But I find that because I'm working on myself and loving myself, I'm having this great love affair with myself for the first time in my life, that I will not attract the same type of person. There's no way in hell.
Okay, that's an A+ answer too, my dear. Beautiful.
I had one more thought in case you want something else.
If you want to go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sure.
so I just also wanted to share to not feel alone. So when you open up and you step out and you start sharing, you start meeting people like you guys and build and entering this community, because trauma can feel so isolating and you feel like you're looking at all your family and friends that are leading these normal lives and none of them have any idea what you're going through, and you feel like you're the only one in the world that has these emotions. But then when you start stepping out and sharing your story, then people will come up to you or they'll write to you or whatever it may be. And then you start realizing there is so many more people in the world who are going through maybe not the same situation, but we're all feeling the same emotion. So that's a really important part for me too.
Thank you, Emily. Kat.
I don't think I realized it before, but telling my story has become a way of feeling safe in everything that has occurred. And even when somebody brought up being bullied as a child, it's like, oh, I forgot about that whole part of my life. It's like I had tucked it away. Oh yeah. So there's all these things that have happened in the past. And even though they're not traumatic to me in the moment, it's like now there's this level of safety and discovery in the process of telling my stories.
Thank you, Kat. Judy.
I do it because it took me a hell of a long time to realize what I had lived and to verbalize it, that I did not verbalize this until maybe a year ago, and I'm 73. And I think if I start talking about these things now, that people can relate and be able to speak about it earlier and be able to find resolution and find more joy in their life earlier instead of living on antidepressants like I have.
Yeah. Thank you, Judy. Tanya, do you want to try?
Yeah, I do it for it. It's cathartic. It helps me deal with what's happening. It keeps me, like everybody else said, it keeps me from isolating. It gives me a community of women who I've watched go from survivor to architects in their own lives. It helps me keep in taking those steps towards architecting my own life, living with intention. And that's why I share.
And this is why my favorite part of all of my summit so far is always the speaker panel. I think the speaker panels alone are just gold. This is so beautiful, these shares. And Gloria, do you have a share for us?
Most definitely. I share because we're born connected and we spend our lives seeking connection. And it has been proven that if we are not connected, we die. So sharing is living.
Wow, thank you for that. Okay. We got very little time left before I do the closeout. I think I want to just end the speaker panel with just for those who want to, and it can be speaker, it can be people in the audience. What's a takeaway? What's one comment about today? What's one thing that feels different with ending today than beginning of today? So that's open to everyone. Actually, Joy, I saw your face. Do you want to go, Joy? You don't have to. You can say, I don't know what you're doing, girlfriend. You're muting, unmuting. You're
Load,
muted right now.
Loading.
okay, there we go. What's different from this morning to now? I think this has been divine timing that I noticed this. I was able to get on and do it intermittently between everything I have to do here. And I feel like I'm creating a new person. And it's scary and it's exciting. Wow. Thank you so much, all of you.
Beautiful.
That was beautiful. Yeah. All right. And so speakers, go ahead. If anyone in the audience wants to comment or share something, you can do it in the chat. You can do it live. Just unmute yourself. I'm going to go ahead and just go around the room for now. Judy, do you have a response?
It's just the comment that was made about, and I can't quote it, but it was about falling in love with yourself. And that's a reminder to me.
I think that's perfect. Because we're out of time, I'm not going to go around the room, but if you have something powerful you want to say, please speak it now or forever hold your peace.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I hope you stay on. I'm going to do closeout. It's going to be very brief, okay? What's super important is I cannot continue summits if I don't have sponsors. And when I started to ask for sponsors, people have been saying yes, and that pays for the ad spend. Even though we're a small but mighty group in the room, we had over 200, almost 250 people register. And we have a lot of people that aren't here right now purchase replays. We have a few VIP purchases. That helps my company keep surviving. That helps with our ad spend. That's going to help other survivors who don't have means get scholarships. So thank you. And thank you for speakers too, because you contribute in order to make this happen as well, whether you sponsor or not. Thank you. Tomorrow I'll list all the sponsors. My brain capacity for today is gonna get zappy, so I don't want to miss anybody. So I'm gonna do it better tomorrow when I'm actually looking at the list. If you have not purchased the VIP bonus, please consider doing that because most of the speakers have given a gift, and just one gift is worth way more than the price before they expire in 72 hours. Please consider purchasing the recordings. They're very affordable. So I wanted to share that. I think that's all I want to share. Like I feel like I don't want to keep promoting anything that I do. It's everything I offer is on the resource page. I do want to continue to promote these amazing speakers that are here offering their time and service to support you all. Many of them have amazing programs. I have sampled a lot, if not most, because I'm on this journey to be a better me. And people in here are making that possible. When I see the women in this community and a few good men uplifting others and really making a difference, it's so inspiring. It makes me want to really live within my purpose. So I want to end. It's going to be a little earlier than usual. I might have a better wrap up tomorrow. But I want to end on just letting you know that each of you has a purpose that you may know now, or you may not know now, or it might shift. I'm asking you to lean into that. It doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter what you're currently doing. It doesn't matter what you've been through. Any purpose, any dream is possible. I want you to lean into that. When I met Emily, it was maybe a year ago. I did not picture her speaking here today. She's like, yeah, no, I'm not ready. And the truth is, she's not even finished her certification yet. She's still working on it. And I'm like, just jump in, just do this. Those certificates, they get done, right? And she's here. She's got a lot to offer. Some of you have been in the field a long time and have a million trillion certificates and expertise behind your belt, and you are freaking powerful, right? Some of you haven't spoken yet, and we'll get to speak tomorrow. If you're in the audience, if you feel like you have a story to share, get in touch with me. It doesn't matter if you haven't been a speaker before. It really doesn't. We will get you comfortable. Maybe you'll come on my podcast and we can practice. Maybe you want to work with Lisa. She's has a program called Win Stories. I'm going to be speaker of in 2027. We can't get it to work this year. We've tried. But who do you know? Maybe you need to work on regulating your nervous system. Catch your person. Or maybe Scott, who's speaking tomorrow. We have one male speaking. He's speaking tomorrow. He is pretty wise old soul himself, so you might want to check him out. Maybe you want to get to know Jude, she's a dealer, I call her. She's a dealer for this device that can help you with meditation and light deeper way. Anyway, come back tomorrow. That's my only ask for today. Come back tomorrow.